This video can be one of the most important videos you see, not just today, in your life. Why? Because we're going to be talking about how you can actually sustain a state of peace and love and contentment and happiness, call it whatever, enlightenment. How you can sustain to be awake in every moment in your life. Does that sound right? Because you're going to need some courage to do what I'm going to be suggesting you to do in this video. Okay, I'm going to start a bit more intellectual because otherwise it will be too hard. So, first thing, I need you to understand this principle. Your awareness, your enlightenment, your awakening, that state is all-embracing, is welcoming, is loving. And you cannot have that while you hold resentment and condemnation to yourself or to anyone else. Does that make sense? You cannot be being this field of awareness where only joy and contentment is experienced, and while holding thoughts and resentment and hate and condemnation to anyone else. You see, it's not possible to live in oneness, non-duality, at the same time, feeling there's this separation between you and someone else. That's how actually your ego and the darkness and your hell arises in your life. And your mind comes with all these ideas why this is true. And I know this is one of the most powerful and challenging ideas that you're going to come across in your life. And that's why it's so important for you to understand. We don't want to. Most of us would like to spend a lot of time speculating on non-duality or this teaching, that teaching, sitting to meditate. You know, there's this whole range of things we do, but in the day-to-day, the person that you are, moment by moment, the most important factors on how your hell is sustained, your suffering is sustained, your non-enlightenment state is sustained, which is an illusion, but it's sustained by the reality of you condemning the world, meaning people or yourself. Condemnation, that hate, that is the thing that sustains the separation. You want non-duality? Don't condemn anyone, ever. That's it. One sentence, enlightenment. And this is not something that I'm just bringing up and making up as I'm talking. This fits literally with every teaching of every enlightened being that has been in the planet. They may be Hindus, they may be Buddhists, they may be this, that, Christian, Muslim. They all would agree on this. All these great teachers are saying, these other people are you. So this whole idea of you separating yourself with them, it is where the devil is where the problem is, where your hell is built. So you're building this on day-to-day moment. Think about, now comes the hard part of the video, where think about who are you holding resentment? Who are you blaming in your life? These people who did something wrong to you, something bad to you. Or maybe it was you. Maybe you did a huge mistake, did something wrong to someone, and you feel guilty. In both cases, you cannot sustain that and at the same time say that you want to live enlightened. It's completely opposite stuff. It's impossible for you to make it. So you have to make that decision. Do you want enlightenment or do you want to live in resentment? And you may say, yeah, but you don't understand. This person, there's this horrible thing that happened to me. I was abused. Someone I know, someone I love was abused. Someone is abusing me. Or I did something wrong. I abused someone. I did something really bad. Well, I'm not saying, very important here, I'm not saying condone and tolerate the situation. That's not forgiveness. So if there's a violent situation, for example, that you're in the street and something happens, I'm not saying make as if nothing happened. No, that's not what is meant here. And yes, suffering is an illusion. But I'm not saying that you shouldn't take responsibility of what's happening, because the illusion part in here, or the part that you should be paying attention to, is how you are reacting to the situation. That's where the illusion really is. The fact that the external world and matter and all these things is an illusion is an interesting speculative conversation that some people will find useful. But especially sometimes we find it useful when we don't want to face the reality. That this part of you start waking up to the idea that you are everything and everything is you, but at the same time, you have a hard time forgiving. Because there's something else that is so hard. It is so hard to someone who hurt you deliberately or who did these horrible things, to have compassion in your heart for that person. Or to forgive you the horrible things you did, to forgive your wrongness. But you have no other option. And from the meditation side, hopefully you come from the meditation side, you will realize that at this point, that this guilt, that resentment is an activity in your mind. It's not an actual thing. It's your reaction to it. It is, no, this is wrong. No, this shouldn't happen. No, this is wrong. You see what I'm gonna do you. I'm gonna get my vengeance. I'm gonna make it right by throwing your horrible hate and fear, violence back to you more, so you will learn the lesson. Yeah, well, I shouldn't laugh. It's a serious topic. But it's all a damn illusion in our minds. Because when you're realizing it yourself and you realize, oh, I am doing it, I'm holding to my resentment, then you will laugh with me. And you realize, oh my God, this was the whole problem. You have the power to reshift your experience so you access back at peace. And from there, you may do actions in the situation. I'm not saying you should deny or not act from your compassion to the best interest of anyone in the situation. I'm not saying don't do anything and become frozen in a nightmare situation. I'm saying shift your perspective for the benefit of everyone involved. And most importantly, understand that your reactions are an illusion, because that's the way we get into suffering. We just think that our thoughts are true. I should feel this bad for this person because this person is really, really evil, because it did this really, really evil thing. And again, let's leave aside the fact that you actually respond to the situation in the best way. No, actually, that thing that is killing you, that is making you suffer, it is actually not factual truth. It's an opinion. You're seeing one part of the conversation. I warn you, this is very hard. And most people probably at this point have dropped out of this video. This is not a conversation you want to have. But I have been exploring and have been receiving teachings for over 30 years. And I spend hours a day meditating. And I'm trying to save you all this time. You want me to give you a very powerful idea? It's what I'm saying, what I'm doing in this video. Most of your suffering comes from your relationship to others. Isn't it? So if you're able to hack that part, you're going to notice how profoundly it's super easy to stay in a state of non-duality. But you have to dismantle this mindset that triggers that emotion in you of defensiveness or attack even. You have to dismantle that mindset. You cannot have peace when you're at war with yourself or with the world. So realize that is an option. You're taking options in there. This is what most people, let's say, religious fanatics won't accept, won't buy into this. They say, no, 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 this is the factual truth. But many of us disagree. So there are different opinions on the same topic, which means that who's right? Well, one of the hardest things in life, there is no clear answer to many things, in the sense of what is the fair thing in the situation. It's kind of unclear. That's why we have judges. When you have someone who kills someone else, it's not that you just automatically kill him or something like that, right? Well, hopefully in a developed country. But people still, the state or the law or the society still reconsider their position before going, because it's a very complex situation, why someone would do something wrong. Anyway, so try to realize that I know you don't want to do this work. I didn't want to do it neither. But we're talking about you sustaining peace and your natural innocence all day long. And you cannot sustain this state of innocence and raw appreciation for everything and everyone while you hold resentment and condemnation to yourself or to anyone else. And right now, I imagine most people don't even know how to start with this, but that means you got it. If you think this, what I'm saying, it is very difficult, you're on the right path, my friend. You're going to make it. It's the people who don't think this is an important conversation who it's going to take them a long time to realize that there's no way around this. You cannot hold resentment or condemnation to anyone or anything. So you have to make a choice. You want to live in a state of love, or you want to suffer? You want to suffer? Because that's the same thing as deciding to hold condemnation and resentment towards anyone or anything, even yourself. That is choosing suffering. And if you decide to connect with the real essence of the being of these other people, beyond your own judgments, beyond your own conditioning, beyond the unfortunate situation, you can see through that and see the innocence, the sometimes ignorance even, in these other people, and feel compassion for them. You're doing that to yourself. You're never compassionate to anyone else, really, because there is only you. So you're not doing this to forgive someone. You're only doing this to yourself. And this is how you free yourself from the hell of suffering in the most direct way possible. And try to do this. I'm here to help, so write on the comments if you have any problem applying this. And you say, okay, I agree, but I'm here. I'm hoping to serve you. So if you have any problem with this, let me know. Write me. And hopefully I will be able to shorten the learning curve a little bit to save you time so you can finally live continuously every day, no matter what, in a state of peace and enjoyment, which is your natural state. To feel joy when you breathe, to feel joy when you notice, oh, I have a body. When you wake up in the morning, wow, I woke up. To live in awe, to live in wonder. You have to choose between that or holding resentment and guilt. So this is called a practice for a reason. You may have to go through this over and over for your day. In some instances, it will feel too hard, but I'm here with you, my friend. I'm here to tell you, this is it. You are free. Your life is already beautiful and innocent and perfect. Everything and anyone.